Hello everyone, my name is Murtaza. As you know, I'm an accountant out of Toronto. The plan is that I'm going to be starting a series of short videos focused on how to use QuickBooks Online. I know that there's already a lot of content out there on the internet which is very useful and that can be used, right? But the reason for creating these videos, number one, is that these videos are focused on specifically contractors, self-employed professionals, mainly service-oriented startups and businesses. You know, we're going to be taking care of the simpler tasks, and then we might be kind of going into the advanced territory as well. But for now, we're going to be using QuickBooks Online for the basic things, which I believe and I know that contractors need on a daily basis. For example, contractors like electricians or plumbers or construction worker or an IT consultant, IT security guy. They have to invoice out to customers or clients. Let's say if they're one-off clients, they just get the job done and bill out to the customer, but sometimes they have to do progress billing. So all those scenarios we will be taking care of within these videos. So again, they are focused on those kind of people. Let's begin. Okay, so the first thing is what we are going to talk about today is going to be about how to create a customer on QuickBooks Online. Okay, so I'm using QuickBooks Online accountant version, my site. But you would have a slightly different version, but the screens are going to be the same. It's just the overview, overall look of it is a bit different. But you can go whatever I tell you, those things are applicable to you as well. Okay, so for this, let's create a new customer. So for example, you are an IT consultant and you just downloaded QuickBooks or actually not downloaded. So you just signed up on QuickBooks, and now you're gonna be using it. So the first thing is that you have to, let's say, you did a job for a customer and you have to send an invoice to the customer. The first thing that you have to do is create a customer. Okay. So once you have a customer in place, the second step is gonna be creating the invoice, and the third step is gonna be sending the invoice, and then the fourth step will be the payment. So again, we're gonna go to all those things later on, but the first thing is let's create a customer in this video. So you're gonna go to, let's say, the sales, and once you kind of over the sales tab on the left menu, you will see overview, all sales, invoices, and customers. So I'm gonna go straight to customers, or I can go to overview, which the screen that I already have, and I see all those kind of subsections here in these tabs as well. So I'm going to go to customers, and a table will open up, which will show the list of customers that I already have, and I'm going to go and add a new customer here. Add new customer. Okay, so this is a very simple form, but there are a few things that you need to know which are kind of important. Otherwise, it's a very simple form. And let me tell you, sometimes software like these QuickBooks and some other cloud-based accounting software, they look very user-friendly and easy, but there are still a few technical things that you might want to take care of, because you don't want to end up messing up the accounting information or the bookkeeping, which ends up with going to an accountant and the accountant getting this fixed up, and all those things. So it's better you get those things, you understand what you are doing, and getting that thing right the first time. Okay, so without wasting any further time, the screen that I have, it is showing I see these icons on top. So these are basically, I can just click on one and it's going to take me to the particular section. So these basically represent the information section, right? The first thing is the name and contact of the customer. Again, I can write here, let's say, John Smith. This is how the customer's name is going to look like. Okay, so if it's an individual, you can put the name here. And so what is the difference? This is the person that you are kind of the contact person at the business. For example, you have a customer who is a corporation, a company, and you are sending the bill to the, let's say, product manager. So you're gonna and your interaction is with the product manager, and for that you're gonna create a customer. The name is John Smith, and the corporation could be, let's say, ABC Corporation Inc. So name to print on the check. Now it depends. This means that the name that needs to be printed on the checks that you, if you're making any check to this customer, this is the name that is going to be printed, right? This is a customer usually you're going to be billing out, and they're going to be writing a check to you. But sometimes there's two situations. You might have to do any refund, make a credit, or the other situation could be some customers are also vendors, right? So in that case, this is the name to be printed on the check. And then the email ID, you're going to put the customer's email ID here. Let's say customer John at ABC Corporation Inc.com. ABC. Okay, so phone number. You're gonna enter the phone number of the contact or of your customer. Again, the cell phone number or mobile number, website, all this information. Is this a customer a sub customer? Okay, this is important because a sub customer could be so in a scenario. Let's say you have customer. Let's say I'm just saying it's Microsoft, right? That's your customer, right? And now you are billing one division of Microsoft, which is, let's say, Office 365. And you're also billing another division of Microsoft, which is, let's say, you're going to call it Azure, okay, the databases. So you're also billing them, right? So you are billing two different divisions under the same corporation. So these bigger corporations, or it depends on, it doesn't have to be big all the time, but an umbrella company or an umbrella business would have separate divisions which are doing their billings and which are keeping their vendors and customers separately, or handling or managing their finances separately, right? So in that scenario, they're going to give you the information and they're going to say, okay, we are Microsoft, but you're going to send the bill to this Microsoft 365, Office 365. That's the customer, right? So in that scenario, let's say John in our corporation, ABC Corporation Inc. is my direct customer, but it comes under another corporation, which is the parent corporation, and XYZ. So XYZ Corporation is also my customer. If that's the scenario, then I might wanna make this one a sub customer. And this helps us in reporting as well, and doing the receivable reconciliation and all those things. These things help. So you need to know if it's a sub customer, then you need to check this box and put the parent customer here, or select the parent customer here. Make sure that the parent customer already exists, right? Okay. Now next thing is addresses. So again, we would have two kinds of addresses. One is the billing address, the address where you would send the bill, right? And the shipping address, where if you're selling any product, you're going to be shipping the product to, right? So you're going to put the addresses there. In street, city, let's say Toronto, postal code, let's see, let's say country is Canada, province is Ontario. Oops, my bad. There we go. Shipping address is the same if there is a shipping address. If you're just a service provider, let's say an IT consultant, or you're you don't send out any product, or you don't need to have this address. So I'm gonna just do this. If it's, I'm gonna keep it same. If it's different, I'm gonna check off this box and remove the check off and put the address here, right? Okay, notes and attachments. This is a new field, and it's really useful. So, for example, if there is any note about this customer that, okay, this is what this customer does, or any special instructions. You know what I mean? So you can just put those notes here, and if there is any attachments, let's say you have a sales order, or you have any other kind of an agreement or something like that, you can attach it over here as well. And this kind of gets saved into your master database of customers, so that you don't have to whenever let's say you have to refer back to an agreement that you had with this customer, you don't have to go through different folders. You can attach the document here and see the PDF here anytime, right? Now comes the payment side. Now, this is an important tab. Again, so payments means once you have a customer and you're giving them a service, or and you need to handle the payments as well that the customer is making, right? So for that, the main thing is payment method, right? So payment method means that how your customer will be paying you. So if you select a payment method here, it does not mean that the customer will only be making payment through this payment method. No. This value, whatever value you select here, whatever method you select here, is going to default on the invoice. So when you create an invoice for the customer, when you select this customer, this payment method is going to default. It's going to be the default value in the payment method on that invoice. So it kind of helps you two ways. One is the data entry that you have to do at the invoice stage, and the other one is that you don't have to remember what is the default or what this customer preference is as far as the payment method is concerned, right? So in that scenario, we're gonna make it, let's say, make it check, and the terms, again, a bit technical. You know how these things work. So due on receipt means once the customer receives the invoice, the amount becomes due. Net 15, you have 15, the customer has 15 days to pay. Net 30, customer has 30 days to pay. Net 60, customer has 60 days to pay. So these are all the payment terms that you are going to allow to your customer. Selecting one at this stage is again going to help you when you're creating the invoice. These amounts will default automatically there on the invoice at the invoice level. So it will save you time, right? So let's say I keep my customers due on receipt. Sales from delivery options. This is related to some of the e-commerce businesses, right? So they can select sales from delivery options. Means that, for example, you are offering delivery different delivery options, right? So you can use one of them here. Language to use when you send invoice. So for example, if your customer is in Quebec, or let's say you're billing out a customer in China, or so you get and they like to receive the invoice in their own language. So you're going to select the language, and this language will default at the invoice level when you create the invoice for this customer. So all these things are going to default when you create or select the customer, right? So when you create the customer, you're going to, this is, let's say I select French here. So when I create the invoice for this customer, the fields are going to be in French, and the invoice is going to be created in French language. Okay, that's about the payments. Additional info. Now, again, all these things, it depends if you have the information. For example, you have the business number or the HST number, the sales tax number. You're going to put that information here. Customer type, this depends on how if you've created any types. It means the categories. So for example, let's say an electrician, he would have a customer type of residential customers, retail customers, like people who need their services and own shops and stuff, and then industrial customers, people who have different industries or factories and they need electrician over there. So it just depends on how you want to group your customers. And again, there could be different reasons, and the first reason is that you just want to analyze your sales, which, let's say, customer type is making more, bringing in more sales, and it's more lucrative and this and that, you know. The other thing is opening balance. So I've started to use this QuickBooks, and you're not migrating any data from a legacy system or something, or the customer does not have any balance with you from the past. It's a new customer, then you would you're gonna just leave this field blank. So basically, if the customer has a business history with you, and for example, if there is a receivable amount, let's say the customer owes you $5,500, and that's what the balance of that customer ledger is from a previous system or wherever, then you're gonna put the amount over here and the date, that what is the date of this balance, like what is this balance outstanding on which date, and then you're gonna carry on. So what this is gonna do is that when you open the customer's ledger here, it's gonna show an opening balance of $5,500, right? And then whatever transaction, then for example, you send a new invoice to this customer for $2,000, so the balance is gonna be 55 plus 2,000, that's $7,500, you know. So that's how it works. But if it's new books, and if it's a new customer, then usually the balance remains 0. So just all these fields fill, and you're gonna hit save and see if there is anything. So it looks like it got saved. So this is John Smith. This is the company's name. This is the John's name, like the person who we are in contact with. And this is 123 Main Street, the address. This is opening balance 0, overdue 0. Okay. What if I just to kind of play around with it? If I do edit, and if I go ahead and do an opening balance here, let's say $5,500, right? And the date I'm gonna put is, let's say, okay. Okay. So now, when I come to the customer ledger, so this is the customer's ledger, right? I see the opening balance is $5,500. That means that on the 1st of November, when I created this customer, in this QuickBooks, or in this books and records, the record shows that the customer has an opening balance which is coming from the past, $5,500, right? Which is overdue. And the next things I will show you how to read this, but quickly. So this is showing that there was an invoice, an open invoice, which was $5,500 coming from the past as an opening balance here. So I haven't created any invoice yet, but the balance right now that the customer carries is $5,500. Alright, so that is how you're just gonna create a customer, and this is what we're gonna see in our next video. Alright guys, enjoy, and if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll make my best efforts to answer those questions. Okay, have a good day. Bye.